yesterday afternoon, I think, the Treasury papers on the disastrous fiscal and economic policies employed by the previous Labor government, and especially by the previous Minister of Finance, were released. And they were a fascinating array of documents that are going to the COVID inquiry number two. Now, just think about this for a moment. Those documents that Treasury had prepared and the advice that they had to the government during the COVID period would never have seen the light of day were it not for the fact that New Zealand First, and good on them, insisted upon COVID inquiry number two to deal with all the stuff, all the really important stuff, that Jacinda Ardern wanted to hide away. If you remember rightly, Jacinda Ardern decided, like most other Western countries, to have an inquiry into the COVID response. But the whole thing was from a public health perspective. It wasn't about all the other damage, educational, social, psychological, economic, that had been caused to the country. Oh no, we couldn't possibly look at that. So she confined it to this extraordinary terms of reference that essentially got rid of all the really important stuff and that could possibly be construed, were the facts to be known, as any criticism of her or her government, or for that matter, her successor, Chris Hipkins. I often look at Chris Hipkins as he opines on issues, and the latest was he went to the Queenstown Chamber of Commerce yesterday, day before, and talked about how the economy's not doing very well, as if he could do better. And I was just thinking to myself, sport, you are to a large extent responsible for the economy being where it is at the moment because of these disastrous and fiscal policies that you and your Minister of Finance, Robertson, and the Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern, signed up to. And then you decided, despite the bonfire of policies at the start of 2023, that you would continue on. It's just got... I don't know about Chris Hipkins. I don't know if he does it just because that's what he's expected to do. I'll just ignore the war. Like I'll ignore COVID. I'll ignore what we do. Gosh, this government's not doing very well, is it? Gosh, we could do so much better. And then there's this Treasury dump of documents yesterday that goes, not only could you not do better, but when Treasury was telling you this is a disaster, stop now, you're spending too much money, we've borrowed too much, $65 billion, we've borrowed too much, stop now, no, we've all got it wrong, the economy isn't collapsing, New Zealanders are quite resilient, doing really quite well. They kept on borrowing to fuel artificial economic growth in this country, of which inevitably the reckoning is applying to us now. Suddenly having to retrench on spending. Why? Because it's unsustainable, a point that the Treasury was making yesterday. I'm just fascinated as this government overcooked the spending during the pandemic against official advice and, according to Treasury, harmed the economy, a harm that is still there. Now, I just wondered to myself, what's it must be like in the Labour caucus at the moment, particularly in the upper leadership and the economic leadership of that caucus, what it must be like there at the moment, knowing that you created the bonfire just quietly and that it's still going and that people are trying to put it out. It's sort of like, oh gosh, doing a very good job of putting out that bonfire. That's because you incinerated the economy, Chris. And you did it bloody well, which is why it's so hard to hose down now and get into some degree of order. It just strikes me is there some form of collective amnesia that the Labour Party have decided to employ? Is it just bald-faced lie, as in, we didn't do that even though we did? I'm like a 15-year-old being caught, I don't know, where they shouldn't be, in a girl's bed somewhere, and clearly should not be there at that time of day or night, just for that matter, going, I wasn't there. We saw you. No, you didn't. I wasn't there. Well, that's much of the tactics that Chris Hipkins and the Labour Party are employing at the moment. It's extraordinary. I mean, I don't know. And it's the other thing. There's no hint of sorry about that. You know, there's no hint of, yeah, we did overstuff it a bit. There's no hint, well, we've learned our lessons and yeah, we've contributed to this problem and how can we help you out of it? It's just, gosh, the government's doing a full job of sorting out our mess, isn't it? Oh, dear Lord.